Hello, Saber Junkies. Here we are again. It has been quite some time. Over 2 months, actually. I've been working on this one hilt for this whole time. And I can't say enough about it. It's been a wild ride. But it is my first crossguard and the first, it's the first of a lot of things. And the best thing to do is just dive right into it and show you the hilt, what it looks like. I had it in, it went to sleep on me. So.
Try or die, whatever happens next is your choice.
Chamber. It's quite the challenge that I will explain. It's got a few really cool features here. You may not be able to hear me with that, but yes, it's got some really cool features, including the hatch, which I've shown on a few posts. So with the battery underneath. Quick change. I'm calling it a quick change. Battery quick change. Let me set this on the table here on the bench, and we will get to looking at it. So just to go through a few explanations of this, we do have a kill switch right on the side, which, believe it or not, I mean, this is kind of a two-hander here. You can actually get both your hands on this. Spinning it and everything, might be able to hit the switch by accident. Honestly, though, you're going to hit it.
Try or die, whatever happens next is your choice.
So you're going to hit it on rather than off. So that was one of the things that I worried about when putting that on there. But as soon as I seen the switch, I was just like, I've got to get that. And boy, was it a difficult process getting that dude right there. This is without a doubt, the most difficult install, most difficult build that I have ever done. And hopefully the end result is worth it. It is to me. There's no telling the type of reception something like this will get. I have spent so many hours on it that you know, your perception becomes a little bit askew when having looked at it for such a long time. So it may look different to other people than it does to me. So, you know, of course, I've got to buy a stake in it. So to me, it's like I'm just I can't really say 100% sure. All I know is it was a lot of work. It's got a lot of different parts to it. So yeah, we've got the hatch here, which was not the most difficult part of the build, believe it or not. That would be the crystal chamber, which I can explain in a minute. So yeah, this has, these are brass pieces I designed and printed at Shapeways. Magnets hold the covers on.
Fly or die, whatever happens next is your choice.
This sound font that you are hearing is called Synergy, and it's from Syndicate Custom Relics. It is a really cool sound font with blade style that is programmed by none other than Brian Connor, the brain as I call him. So on this we have actual, very seldom do I use found parts, but I actually found these parts, I believe, from a box of Saberforge parts, and so I use them here. My original plan was to use the Baffle tubing and then these, and then Eric came up with the idea of putting the brass shrouds on, and it made it that much better in that outcome of it. So I really like the shrouds that are on it. So what we have here, the motor actually sets back here, and it's offset from the crystal chamber. So the crystal chamber actually sits on two bearings. So there's a couple of 6mm bearings inside here on each end, which I have holders on each end, and then I have a, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's a 19 LED PCB from the Cantina. I have that here and on the pommel. So one on each end here. So the crystal chamber that I designed, and it was also, it's brass printed at Shapeways. The LED, the PCB actually sits within the holder, and the bearing then sits between the PCB because it's got a hole in it, and this has a shaft that goes through the bearing, and on this side it has a shaft coming from the motor, which is actually something along this line here. It's a 3mm motor or shaft, and then there's U-joints that come down so that it sets at the angle that it has to set at. So it was a very difficult install to get all of this lined up just right, and yeah, it was something else getting everything in there. Plus we have spinning parts up inside of here, and with those spinning, all the wires and everything had to be wired around moving parts. And of course you can see, let's see if I can get
Obi-Wan Kenobi. I shall do what I must. Master.
I'm right.
So here's a really cool looking blade effect. I love the hatch. This is something that I've actually been wanting to do for a long time with this hatch. And, you know, I wanted a static chassis that could be accessed through a hatch. And so the way this was actually built is I cut everything out and then used another piece to make the hatch, and had to pretty much mill everything out on the mill the best I could, and then all of the angles, everything were done by hand with a rotary tool that I have. We have, like I said, there's the Cantina PCB here, and then inside here we have the stock PCB. I think that's everything with it.
Darth Vader, the mighty Kylo Ren.
So programming was insane on this. Focus in there. So this was, there's 29 sound fonts on here. It wound up being like 150 different blade styles. So it was definitely a lot of programming to do. And of course, thank you to F263 for his blade style library. Without that, I would have been lost. And I was able to get quite a bit of these. Some of these were from online, others, giving Soundfont their blade styles and stuff on posts. It's nice. It's nice when everybody shares things and you're able to use that and make your hilt look really cool. Get a short blade in here. So this is the retention here, and the cover tech is here. The cover tech can actually be used here. Of course, I designed it to where you wouldn't need a wrench on anything, but it could be changed to down here, but then you'd have to use a wrench to be able to access the board and everything, which, like I said, this is really cool with the kill switch on the outside to where you don't have to open it up to turn it on. This was the whole idea behind the Proffieboard V3.
What could you give me?
And of course those pads wound up not working out, but still was able to use. This one has 6 data pads on it, so that turned out really good, that I was able to program individually. These are individual, as well as the Pommel pommel and LEDs on top of the chassis. These are individual.
Start. They're pod racing on Malastare. Meet a true Sith. I am Sith. I survived Order 66.
A Jedi uses the Force in the...
Oh, I love that Soundfont.
Ancient integration.
So I'm trying to think if there's anything else. There is a story behind this as far as why the Quillians on this are as they are, which it's actually a pretty cool story. That the hilt itself was overheating because of the powerful crystal that sits inside of it. And so, well, I don't know if I want to go through the whole story. Maybe I'll write it out on the post. But pretty much, these were built by a Mandalorian, who the owner that wields this lightsaber had saved her life, and she had been trained in the forge. There's just a really cool backstory behind it. Anyway, these are basically plasma ports to release some of the energy and keep the hilt from overheating. So when you see them, they actually serve a purpose. And because she was limited on Beskar, it actually is not pure, and so the way that she forged it, it can withstand a few lightsaber strikes, but it has to cool off. So he doesn't depend on these so much, but it does help him out every once in a while to withstand a lightsaber directly, a direct hit from a lightsaber. All right, so let's switch back over. So that is 300 hours, guys. 300 hours. Granted, I did have to wire this 3 times, and that was because of the issues with the board, which I believe are all sorted out now. But oh my God, did it cost quite a bit of hours to sort them out. But most of them are fixed, which is really good. It always takes a while to work out bugs and stuff in a new board, so I'm glad that I was able to contribute at least a little bit to that. Brass, brass, brass. This thing is heavy. Well, you guys let me know what you think in the comments, and I will say it's going to be a while before I do another scratch build. I got to get caught up on some installs and maybe take a little time to rest. This is going to ship off in a couple weeks to Eric, and I really hope that that he's happy with it. So you guys have a great one, and I will see you on the next one, and may the force be with you.